there's this word out there called a narcissist. Right? I've mistakenly thrown it around before, but if you follow people on social media, every guy who's ever broken up with a woman is a narcissist, right? Every ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend or ex-husband or ex-wife is in fact a narcissist. But what makes a narcissist is somebody who not only puts themselves above other people and looks down on other people, but they also don't have empathy. It can't be empathetic. And so I think what happens is sometimes our lack of empathy isn't necessarily in our internal wiring. We bring in the baggage and biases of what we know about somebody and what we assume to make us seem more empathetic. Stick with me for a second if I'm not making sense, okay? I'm going to use Deshaun Watson as the perfect example. So Deshaun Watson has been in and out of the lineup for the Cleveland Browns. It is nearly impossible to do what I'm going to do, which is disconnect the Deshaun Watson playing, not playing from the accusations against him in Houston. Okay? The accusations against him in Houston. And not even the accusations. Deshaun Watson did some other crummy stuff, which I don't really like, and I've been against, which is and whether it's him or his agent, and I'm sure there's some real feelings there, okay, but they trade away Nuke Hopkins, and he signed a contract extension after that trade was made. But before that season began, when it appeared to be obvious that they were going to be bad, that was when he did everything in his power to get out of Houston. This is before the allegations came up. And he essentially sat a season, torpedoed the Texans, took their money, and then got traded and got a new contract, the longest fully guaranteed contract in the history of the sport. And so it's really, really easy for all of us, low-hanging fruit, to go, well, he don't want to play because he's got a 5-year guaranteed contract. He's probably got $250, $300 million in the bank. Why does he need to play football? Then you factor in the accusations against Houston. He's like, well, he's a bad guy. He's a rich guy. He's got a guaranteed contract. He doesn't need it. Why go out there and get your head knocked in, right? But what that lacks is empathy. And you're like, wait, you tell me, DG, you got to feel sorry for it? No, I didn't say feel sorry for him. Being empathetic. Empathetic. Just random question, because I, frankly, didn't know the actual definition of empathy. But it's the ability to understand or share feelings of another. Right? That's not feeling sorry for. That's just understanding somebody's feelings. So I'm going to pitch something to you guys, and you tell me if I'm way off. Is that okay? You okay with that, Buyer?
Let's do it. I like telling you you're way off.
Okay, that's okay. So we're looking at this as black or white. Do you want to play? Do you not want to play? You're getting paid regardless of whether you play. Either you're medically cleared to play or you're not. But let me help you out. Deshaun Watson was a high school superstar. He went to college at Clemson and tore his ACL. When he returned, he became a college superstar. When he got to Clemson, he was the one who was going to change from Clemsoning, right? They had other good quarterbacks, but he was otherworldly. He was a 5-star. He was the savior. And you know what he did? He saved them, right? They won a national championship. He fulfilled anyone's reasonable expectations for what his ceiling would be. When he left Clemson, his coach, Dabo Swinney, said he's the Michael Jordan of football. Here's how Teflon Deshaun Watson was. When they were up 24-0 to the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL playoffs, and the Chiefs came back and beat them, was there any criticism ever of Deshaun Watson? Anyone? Nope. Not an ounce of it. Because anything that was bad was Bill O'Brien, was the Houston Texans, was the owner, okay? Hints of racism, mismanagement, the defense, anything. But like, look, dude, you got a 24-0 lead. You're the quarterback. You don't win a game. At least some of it is on you. I talk to people around the NFL, they're like, he's actually not great in the red zone. He holds the ball too long, But no one had anything bad to say about him off the football field. He was seen as a saint. Matter of fact, when the allegations came out, I called a friend of mine who had thought about drafting him in the NFL. And I was like, did you guys hear any of this stuff when he's at Clemson? He's like, we turned over every rock. We could not find anyone to say a bad word about Deshaun Watson. So he went from the absolute peak, Michael Jordan of football. That's what he was called. Win a national championship, number one pick, touched the ball as a rookie. Remember, before he got hurt, tore his ACL again his rookie year, he was killing it. He came in and it was like, boom, immediate lightning. Why weren't they starting him from day one? And even when he forced his way out of Houston before the allegations, I was the only one going like, this is wrong. You took a big contract after they traded DeAndre Hopkins. Like, this is a wrong thing to do. If you really want it out, don't take the new contract. Say you want out. And you can't say it's about the DeAndre Hopkins trade because you signed the contract after they traded DeAndre Hopkins. And if you know anything about NFL contracts, it didn't hit the books for another year when he ultimately sat. But he got paid all that signing bonus, guaranteed money up front. First 3 years were already paid. It was in the bank. It was done. It was earning more money. Financially, I thought he pulled a fast one. I do not think that's how you do business, how you did business. And I'm not making an excuse. I'm making an explanation because I am empathetic. Because you go from that to now you're playing for the Cleveland Browns. Right? Last year you come back. You hadn't played in almost 2 years. It's at the end of the season. The season's already cooked. It's already been kind of a weird year. Team wins 4 games. All right, so this year you start playing, and now you hurt your shoulder. You don't fit the offense. Because the thing that happens with the 5-year guaranteed contract after you forced your way out of Houston is you don't get to pick the offense anymore. Like, bro, we were the only ones. We signed you up. We got you 5 years guaranteed. You've already forced your way out of one team. You can't force your way out of another. And Kevin Stefanski is a good offensive coach. He comes from the Kyle Shanahan zone running scheme. Remember, that's what they did that's what they tried to do with Baker. That's what they did previously when he was in Minnesota. That's not how Deshaun Watson plays. It's a bad fit. Okay? And it's not like they were star-studded with wide receivers. The best player they had on their offense was a running back, who, by the way, got hurt. So you go to a city in cold weather you never played before. You go to an organization that has you can't go anywhere else. Everybody now, even your home fans, don't really like you. Like Cleveland Brown fans like, well, I hope he wins for us, but we don't even, like you go from being the Michael Jordan of the sport to, we really like you anymore. People boo you. People don't even know you, know your story. And again, like you earned that. I understand. And we never truly know what happened. But we all have our own thinking of what happened. And your body won't cooperate. This is, in a lot of ways, it's like Kawhi Leonard. Like Kawhi Leonard knew he was hurt, told people he was hurt. The medical people cleared him, and he's like, I'm not right. But we make this assessment because we're 30,000 feet above the thing that the medical people clear you, you can play. That ain't how it works. So here's my empathetic thought. I want you to imagine yourself as somebody that everyone gave a pass to most of your life. That things have always been easy with the exception of rehabbing your knee, and that you've always been successful and you've always been able to figure it out in the football field. And you've always had offenses which are built around your skill set. Now you sign a contract which no owner in the NFL likes. Even your home fans don't like you. Everywhere you go, you're booed. You get dinged up. You lose your running back. The offense isn't set to your skill set. And you just don't feel right physically. You're not playing well. And people are questioning whether or not you actually want to play football. My question to you is, do you have any empathy for what that might feel like to wear that black hat and to know your body just isn't cooperating? Here's Deshaun Watson when he was asked about the national narrative that he doesn't want to play football.
Just worked my ass off for 2 years to get back to playing. So why wouldn't I want to play? This is what I've been doing since I was 6 years old. So why wouldn't I want to play? I see the same thing. I see all the narratives, this, that, the third. I mean, all that stuff is just trying to call controversy and promotion. You know, I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm not happy with the injury, but you know, I'm in a great space mentally. I'm in a great space spiritually. Physically, everything else is in a great space except my shoulder. So we're working hard to get that back. But yeah, why wouldn't I want to play? I don't do this for no other reason. Yeah, I see that too. I see the whole contract situation and all that stuff. Yeah, that's up to this for people to talk and just create narratives.
I mean, I don't think it's about controversy. I don't think it's because people want to cause controversy. I think it's because people assume, and a lot of this is we bring in our own baggage and biases, like I said. You know, there will always be people that assume I have it out for, I don't know, Oklahoma, because I played at Oklahoma State. Right? That I carry this negative thought of the University of Oklahoma. Couldn't be further from the truth. But what it is because they're an Oklahoma State person and they hate Oklahoma, they assume that I must care. Like, dude, I live in California. I'm far from that. I haven't lived in Oklahoma since 2003. Right? Well, you know, when you're in college, the second time around, UCLA took Baron Davis instead of you. Well, if they didn't take Baron Davis instead of me, they would have been the dumbest human beings on the face of the earth. Right? But so I'm bitter from 1997 till now, and anytime I say something negative about UCLA, it's because of that, even though my best friends, the mother of my children, I'm on the board of regents there. I've done some consulting work there. Like Oklahoma State, it became a great home for my career, my schooling, my life. Like, I'm bitter about UCLA, but that's because you're bitter about the school that didn't want you. You're projecting. And I think a lot of us project because we think, hey, if I had $250 million in my bank account, guaranteed, I wouldn't want to play football. What the hell? But you're not wired like Deshaun Watson. Again, I'm not excusing any sort of the behavior off the football field. None of it. And he stumbled on things he said about that. But you're a football player, you're a quarterback, and your body won't cooperate. And you've always had everybody tell you yes, and now you're hearing no's, and your body's telling you no. Hard thing to process. Dan Byer, your thoughts?
I think it's very, very well laid out, and I do have a difficult time separating the accusations made against him to who he is now. It may not be fair, but I do. The thing that I would say with Watson and why I do think it's legitimate is you just played a soundbite there, and he said he worked his butt off for 2 years trying to come back. Come back from what? He sat out because he didn't like the front office in Houston, so there was a stalemate there. It wasn't like he was coming back from injury. He had to miss the first, 11, 12 games of last year because of his suspension. Mm-hmm. Different if that's when he did suffer the knee injury, which he did years back and battled back and ended up playing for. Signing the guaranteed contract. Remember the teams that were out there that were interested in signing him. Saints, Vikings were mentioned, Falcons, Panthers, maybe not great options, but they all for some reason were ahead of the Browns, who were out of the picture until they gave him the money that he wanted. And to me, I go back to that aspect of it is, was it best fit for me? Like you were talking about with Stefanski?
He chased the money. He chased the money and the guarantee. It's a brilliant point you bring up, and I don't know if it's what you meant to bring up, but it reminds me of The Little Mermaid, right? Where we always make whatever the evil sea witch out to be, right? She offered a deal. I get your soul, you get your legs. Like, hey, dude, you sold your soul for this contract, right? You chose Cleveland. You had other options that were probably better options and better fits, and you chose, and oh yeah, by the way, it also completely destroyed the relationship of Matt Ryan with the Atlanta Falcons because the Atlanta Falcons wanted him.
Sure.
And that would have been a better fit for him because he's from there. There would have been a lot more acceptance into who he was, and they'd have been the personal rehab like they probably wish they did with Mike Vick, etc. But yeah, I'm with you on all that. Like, hey, dude, you did this. You took the money. You went for the money. My first radio partner in national radio was a guy named Chuck Wilson. And Chuck was one of the original founding members of Game Night, which was the first ESPN radio show. And Chuck told me one day, he said, partner, do me a favor. I said, what's that? He said, never take a job just because of the money. And I've done things because of the money that I've regretted, not taking jobs, but other little jobs and little things that I've done. I've chased the check a little bit. And, you know, like at some point you got to come to yourself like, I did this for the money. I guess I got to live with it. But I do think he's having a hard time with that. I think it's a great point you bring up.
Yeah, and those decisions, as you said, now no other team in the NFL would want him.
This is it. This is literally it. Literally it. He's in year 2 of a 5-year deal. And in year 6, as of now, trending to be out of the league. Jay Stu, what do you think?
I think a lot about this, but the whole empathy thing, to me, gets compromised by the way he's handled everything, and I can't discount the way he handled the accusations. He carried that into this, and I can't discount the way he's handled this, the injury. He has not articulated to us exactly what's happening. The ownership has not articulated to us, the coaches. Nobody knows what's happening, so it's left everybody to do exactly what you said, which is come up with their own opinions based on his body language, his own language that has not been sufficient, and the fact that he's been cleared by doctors, and nobody that I can remember in that sport and at that position has been cleared by doctors to play and chosen not to play. You put all these together, you can't look at this thing in a vacuum. You kind of have to take all these factors, and it's really tough for me to come up with this empathy that you're referring to. And maybe that's my predisposed thoughts on the guy. I don't like him. I don't like the way he's handled this whole thing. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I can't really get to the level of empathy that you're looking for here.
Still Gottlieb Show here on Fox Sports Radio. Give us your thoughts at Gottlieb Show on Twitter, at Gottlieb Show on Instagram as well. The show is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. I would also point this out, and I use this analogy a lot. Remember when LeBron James was first with the Heat? Okay, remember that? Remember how uncomfortable he was wearing the black hat? Like LeBron James' personality, he likes to be liked. He does not like to be hated. He was not comfortable at all that first year with the Heat because people did not like him. It's different sports, different circumstances, different context. I get it. But there are just some people that are not built. It's like, I talk about this to my friends. Some people are not built for social media, for like Twitter. Twitter is a vicious cesspool where people will say the worst possible things about you if you're somebody that had earned a blue check back in the day. Some people shouldn't do it. Shouldn't do it.